100.
Yes. Yes. What's going on, you guys? Happy Saturday. Usually, it's a happy Friday. But before we even roll in, let me know how the audio sounds, because I've got a completely new system set up, and that's because I got a new camera, new microphone. And so this is a totally new thing for me that I'm running through Streamlabs. So let me know if like the mic needs to go way down, or if you hear two of me. That way we can get all that stuff figured out. So happy Saturday, you guys! I'm super excited about what we're doing today. We've got a number of questions that you guys submitted early on, and let's get some music going on here. What would a Metroid Prime stream be without Metroid Prime music? There we go. So I'm really excited, you guys. Some really good questions that were submitted earlier this week, and so what I do is just allow time for everybody to get in, and then we'll start answering some questions. But again, let me know if the audio is like way off, or like the music needs to go down, or if you guys are hearing some funky stuff. There's two of me. All right. Stand by. All right. Yeah, you gotta have the music. Thank you. Yeah, let me change my let me change that. Monitor off. All right, you shouldn't hear to me now. Yeah, it's a whole new system for me right now. I got I had on the hey Kira, how's it going? I had everything on my Xbox. And in order to get everything to run correctly, I had to monitor through the Xbox headset, and so I'm getting all the monitor stuff figured out with the Elgato. And so right now, the way that it's working, it's a little funky. I have the microphone just as normal, but I actually have my new camera going into my regular Elgato. Let me know how the music volume is if it's too loud. But I've got my new camera going into my Elgato, which is what I use to capture my Xbox. So I'll have to get another capture card so I can run my camera into my PC and do all that stuff. But how are you guys doing? Good to see you guys. Happy Saturday. Happy Easter. Happy one day after Good Friday. Really excited. I got to go out and do some test shooting with my new camera. The nice thing about doing streaming for fun is I bought a new camera for my business, and thanks Nash. It's always good to know. It's hard for me to tell. Like I have the visual representation of the audio, but just because I can see what's going in and out doesn't mean my monitor's not all correct. So, but I got to go out and do some shooting with my new camera, and I'm like really pumped. It's definitely one of those things you call a depreciating asset. One of those things where once you buy it, it's like when you buy a new car, it drops like 40-50% the second you drive off the lot. Made a business decision and bought a new camera that definitely, it was worth more than my car. Let's put it that way. But it's definitely something that's directly for my business, which is what I do for a living. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm doing really good, Kira. Had a really great day, man. Doing some test shots on my camera, and I get to use it for the stream. So that's pretty cool. And I'm kind of in that age now. I was talking to Mrs. Swag about this, where what are some things as you get older that you are willing to spend more money on? What are some things that you are willing to spend less money on? And we kind of touched on it in the last stream. Like if it's going to my body, like if it's food or drink, like it's gonna be good quality. Ironically, on the other end, like I'm not gonna buy cheap toilet paper, and I'm not gonna buy cheap paper towels. And I was like running through this stuff, and I was like, I think the only thing that I won't spend top dollar on is gasoline. Like, I just get that 87 octane no matter what. But it's interesting being at the stage of life where you're like, okay, it's worth often to spend the money on the thing that's going to be worth your time, right? Instead of get something that's middle of the road, and and it's gonna, you're gonna grow out of it, or it's gonna break out on you. Yes, some basketball very soon. Make it happen. Make it happen. You are the wizard of basketball in these parts. Let's do another minute or two, and then we'll hop into these questions. One of the things that I'm a little bummed about. Let's see, where is this thing? I'm not gonna go get it. But the pop filter. Speaking of things, the pop filter for the mic, it's already busted. It's already busted. I put it in. Yeah, kale chips. Not gonna skimp on the kale chips, man. Red kale, green kale. There's this other one that's like a fancy kale. I can't remember it. I think it's like an Italian type of kale. It's like super soft. It's really good. The pop filter broke. Like I was screwing it on, and it's like a metal screw into a plastic receiver. I don't know who designed that, but that was designed to break. But that's okay. We're celebrating 500 subs, and that is so awesome. So before we roll into the questions, thank you guys so much. Of course, we wouldn't be doing this stream without you guys subscribing, and that's like, again, this kind of all started as just a fun passion project for myself, doing some video game stuff while I was going through school, and man, it just kind of took off, and I love it. I love doing this. This is so much fun. But let's go ahead and jump in. It is now Q&A time, and hang on. There's some writing. Hang on. Sorry, I got a little click there. There's something in. It says, "Not brought to you by Safeway Select Seltzer Water. It's sodium-free, caffeine-free, flavor-free, but it's but it's delicious and nutritious, and you should drink it too." Wow, that's true. It is delicious. It is nutritious. That's flavor-free, for sure. That is for sure flavor-free. Safeway Select Seltzer Water. Thank you, Safeway. Thank you, Safeway, for not sponsoring this stream. Maybe someday. But as long as you not sponsor it, we will still keep doing it. That is awesome. All right. Q&A time. First question. First question comes to us from Lee Garris. When is the Metroid Prime 2 video coming out? When is the Metroid Prime 2 video coming out? Yeah. Lee Garris and everybody else. So the Metroid Prime 2 video is still a work in progress, and we touched on it last stream. I'll be continuing my overtime with my work for about another 2 or 3 weeks, and after that I'll be going back to normal hours, and then I'll be getting back to work on the Echoes project. Real estimation, early summer. I would say early summer, like June. I would hope so. Don't quote me on that. I would say if I get it out in early June, I'll be stoked. I would like to do that. You guys have probably, if you've been following, you guys may have seen some of the script I've been doing in last week's stream, and so we're definitely moving, but at a slow pace. And just for you guys, if you want, we will definitely be getting questions in afterwards on the pinned comment. We're going to do the ones ahead of time, and I'll get to that. But I'll also read some of these comments as they come in. Just driving by. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thanks for stopping in. Again, it's just one of those things where I'm continually encouraged by all of you guys, and it's so fun for me throughout the week to have conversations in the Discord and through the comment section, whether it's about Metroid Prime or another game or life stuff people are going through. Man, I'm here for it. This one coming in from Darth Blue Cat 04. What is your favorite alien race in Metroid series, and why? This is tough for me. Thank you, Kira. Yeah, hit me up. I'll make it happen. What is your favorite alien race in the Metroid series, and why? You know, Okay, so I think to properly digest this one, you know, again, just to bring the PC 1997 already doing all the math on how long we gotta wait. I love it. I love it. I gotta say, you gotta split this up into two different columns. You have sentient races and non-sentient races. An alien race, is that referring to, you know, only on certain planets? I'll just do a sentient and a non-sentient. Zach says, so I have until I've finished playing the first time, been playing since 2017. Yeah, right. And it's so funny because I have Mass Effect files from like 3 years ago as well, and then I've also lapped those files, so it's funny how you get into a story mode game and kind of get stuck on it. What is your favorite alien race Metroid series? Man. I mean, maybe this is kind of a boring answer. So I apologize if it's a boring answer. I gotta go with the Chozo. And for me, it's the mystery behind the Chozo that you begin to uncover in Metroid Prime. So maybe it's like less about the race themselves, the species themselves, and more about their story. But that's actually going to go into another question coming up about, you know, their connection with other races. I gotta say my favorite alien race is the Chozo. Yeah, you can absolutely ask a question in chat, and I'll get to that after the questions that were submitted earlier. Prime 2 feels bigger. Yes, it does feel a lot bigger, and it's interesting because it starts out linear, and you're like, oh, this is way more linear than Metroid Prime, and then it starts to branch out of nowhere. It's good. Yeah, I gotta say my favorite like sentient race has got to be the Chozo. If you're gonna go with like a non-humanoid, non-sentient, like a creature, definitely not Sheegoth. Definitely not Blogs or Blorgs. I forget what those were called. In the sunken temple in not World of Warcraft, in Echoes 2 in Torvus Bog. Oh man. That's really tough. I didn't think about this one in advance, and I probably should have. I might come back to this one to try and figure out what my favorite, like, non-sentient, non-humanoid one is. That's a good one, but I'm going to go with the Chozo. I'm going to go with the Chozo for now, and then remind me, come back on it. The PC 1997, who is also in the chat. Which region of Aether or Dark Aether has your favorite music? Now, I pulled this one from, I believe, last week's stream, and I just figured let's hit it again. And it's definitely gotta be Aether is gonna be Torvus Bog. Aether's gonna be Torvus Bog, and I'm gonna go with least favorite, Dark Aether. Aegon Wastes. Aegon Wastes, man. We talked about that before. You listen to Dark Aegon Wastes, dude, that is a haunt. And here's the dealio, is that it's not that it's my least favorite. It's like I don't want to listen to it because it's so haunting. Like, it's a good track. Dark Aegon Wastes. That brings back, like, PTSD memories of my first time going through Echoes. Militant Pacifist, which, by the way, is a great name. What mini-bosses do you like? I'm gonna go Metroid Prime. I'm gonna go Elite Pirates. If you count, yeah, that counts as a boss fight, a mini boss, because at least the first one is a cinematic. Yeah, I would say the Elite Pirates, and for a couple of reasons. One, it's one of the more dynamic. At first, it's like a three. They do basically three things, right? But it's a more dynamic fight without it being overbearing. but it's the story behind the elite pirates, how they're experimenting on their own kind, and just like how messed up the space pirates are, that they would literally, like, you see several failed experiments of the elite pirate, and I can't remember which operation that was, but you come up on gestation tanks of failed elite pirates, and you read the lore about how they're subjecting their own people to Phazon, and that ultimately leads to the Omega pirate. But for mini bosses, I'm gonna go with elite pirate. That's a good one. And from Echoes, man, oh God, what are some mini bosses from Echoes? I gotta say, this isn't a mini boss. It's a common enemy, but the first time that you encounter a Hunter Ing is pretty wild. And by the end of the game, when you're able to do the charged crystals, and they're just easy pants at that point, you know. But I would say Hunter Ing, even though it's not a mini boss, but mini boss ish. Also, the PC 1997. If you were an extra, or if you were extra powerful or supercharged while you had the energy from a whole region inside your suit, thoughts? Yeah, this is an interesting question. This is referring to having the energy of Echoes. Thank you, Project Helix, dude. The PC 1997 is always on it, and Local Legend. Where's he at? Local Legend is the other Metroid encyclopedia. He's at risk for missing his Perfect Attendance Award so far. So if anyone knows Local Legend, let him know we're live. This is a really good question. I like this because, canonically, like, yeah, Samus has, through the energy transfer module, she basically has the entire energy of a whole planet, like the light of Aether, like in her suit, or at least she's the conduit for that energy. And I think, and PC, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way that I'm interpreting this question is, canonically she has that energy in her suit as a transfer module. Like she's the conduit for it. Like she brings the energy from Dark Aether to Light Aether. And so what if that light actually manifested into your suit for your usage? Am I understanding that correctly? That would be super interesting because, as we know, and the next question, we're going to hit it, and I'll get to those other questions in the chat once we get to the end of these. We know that there is an interface translation between Luminoth and Chozo technology, right? And we're going to talk about that in the next question. We know that the Luminoth, to some degree, either come from the Chozo or maybe come from a common ancestor. And, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did the Chozo come first and then the Luminoth, which that's kind of what it seems like? Or did they kind of ascend to sentience around the same time and close enough to maybe where they share technology but had different cultures and basically independently and autonomously grew as cultures? It's definite that there is crossover, or else you wouldn't have the energy transfer module, which is of Luminoth technology, merge with the Chozo battlesuit that Samus has. So there's some kind of common technological language in there, be it like, the actual script of it, like somehow the energy transfer module bonds, translates, and functions with Chozo technology. How's it going, average user? This is a Q&A stream, so we got some questions preloaded, and then we'll open it up to everybody. I find this question really interesting. We're gonna sit on this one for a while. I find this question really interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it's both kind of it's acknowledging the canonical aspect of the translation between the Chozo and Illuminoth, and then it's also adding on to some theory. Okay, can't take full credit. Hey, hey man. Well, if you got the name of the streamer, put it down here, and then everyone else can go check that out. If this is a kind of a theory question, I think at some point from a game design, you become OP, of course, you know, and then that's kind of what happens in Metroid Prime. You get the final weapon, and which name is escaping me right now? Is it the Magma Beam? And then in Echoes, the name is also escaping me. After you get the Echo Visor, and basically in both games you get the final weapon, and you're just basically OP Samus. The difference in Echoes, of course, is that you have ammo to count. But if you were to take the limitations of the video game itself, the way that we actually interact with the game itself, and you were to just like put this down as a story. Okay, sweet, thank you. Yeah, everyone go bookmark that and watch that later. That's good. I'll do the same. Well, actually, I won't do the same, and because I gotta wait till I finish my Echoes video, then I'll go do that. Everyone else go do that though. I think if you were to like display this from like a story, just a straight story, I think that's pretty cool, because here's the only problem though, is that if you were to get the energy, well, okay, maybe if that takes place once you have the 3 different worlds, Torvus, Aegon, and Sanctuary Fortress, if after that and then you unlock the suit, the light suit, if at that point is when you access that energy, right? Because one, it took the energy of Aether to open up that vault that had the light suit, and at that point, if the light of Aether is now like imbued with your suit, and that's when you have the energy, which is in the final chapter of the game or of the story, then to me that's actually really cool. And if that manifested into her powers being, you know, all the more powerful, like she could just blast enemies with one shot, or if she could screw attack, you know, across worlds, or, you know, at that point I have no problem with that. That's amazing, because the whole front legs of the story is her going from world to world and unlocking and being the energy module conduit for all of the light of Aether. And at that point, then she's got all that power. That would be something that I would be kind of interested in seeing. I think inside of the context and the grammar of a video game, at that point it feels kind of game breaking, right? But there is also something really beautiful to like a 5-foot guy wielding a 20-foot sword, you know? That's in its own context like pretty savage and pretty awesome. I think the bounty hunter warrior Samus wielding the energy of an entire planet would be pretty sick. I will say the nice touch of the sky turns purplish to blood red once you take the energy from the Dark Temple. Yes, and something that I have marked down to cover in the Echoes video is, and we talked about it on the last stream, how when you first go out in the temple grounds and you see the atmosphere changing color, it took until this last playthrough and I was getting footage for the video that you hear that, you see that, and before you go outside and see that is when you encounter the first Dark Portal, Dark Samus, as I recall. You get spat out, and then you're going through a long hallway, and then that's when you go outside. So you know something's up, like there's some kind of rift going on, you don't fully understand it, and then you see that next clue, which is the atmosphere literally, you know, like tearing at itself. The energy is tearing at itself, and it looks like kind of like Aurora Borealis. But unlike Aurora Borealis, you're hearing it in real time. And, you know, like if in our world, if a meteor explodes, if a bolide explodes, or even if it doesn't explode, you know, makes a sonic boom, like, you don't hear that right away. But what you're seeing, like the atmosphere, like shifting, you're hearing that like live. Like you see that the planet is tearing at itself, and you're the conduit for that energy. That's a lot of energy. So, if in a theory world, or if in an alternate, you know, plane of playing this out where Samus had that energy, I'd like to see that. That would be one powerful bounty hunter. I like that. I believe this is the last question that we have preloaded. Darth Blue Cat 04 again. How do you think the Luminoth are able to modify and alter and utilize Chozo tech despite the Chozo not explicitly being known to interact with the Luminoth race? Yeah, so this is super good. Really good question. And I apologize, I don't have it up on the screen, but I'm going to read just from my phone the logbooks. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's get it. Let's pull it up. Luminoth lore. Let's see here. Yeah, Luminoth lore. Let's first go to Origins. So it is told that the Luminoth were not born of Aether, but of the stars. In the early days, we roamed the greatness of the void, bathing in the glorious light of 1,000 stars. We met a vast number of enlightened minds, and excuse my pronunciation of the Nikren, the Ila, and the Chozo among them. Each of them we found had claimed a homeworld and formed a deep bond with it. In time, we decided to do the same. And there is my Adobe ad right on the money. Next one I want to read is Our Heritage. Our source for a home took us through the cosmos. For many a great cycle we roamed, yet a place to call our home eludes us. In time we began to despair, feeling the search was in vain. We considered remaining among the stars until a scout returned with news of a world unlike any other. When they first beheld Aether for the first time, so great was her beauty that we forsook the stars forever to live upon her surface. From that day forth, the Luminoth were of Aether, our blessed paradise. So, in both of those lores, we get a bit of a glance into the right on time with Chozo. Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. Chozo ruins. Oh, don't want to see that. Not yet. So we understand that the Luminoth are of the stars. They're not born on Aether yet. They're transplants, if you will. But they encountered these other races. They encountered the Chozo at some point. At some point, they interacted with the Chozo. We don't know exactly how. And from the lore Origins, it makes it seem like they maybe weren't aware that they were direct descendants, if they were at any time direct descendants. But they did interact to some degree, right? We just don't know how much. We don't know how much they modeled, to my understanding. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going off of my knowledge of the lore in-game. So, one thing we do know about the Luminoth, aside from the fact that they look similar to Chozo, they followed them in finding a homeworld. So they are influenced by them. They are influenced by wanting to have a homeworld, right? The Chozo having a homeworld, the other two races have a homeworld, and so they felt like they wanted that. So they looked at these other three races and said that, this is what we need. And So if they lived among the stars up until that point, were they, kind of traveling like if you're going to go to, Mass Effect Parallel, were they like the Quarians, basically just, vagabonds going from star system to star system and kind of living on their spaceships or, kind of going from place to place, and eventually they find Aether. And well, I love that at that point, they were of Aether. And that's what's really interesting about the Luminoth as it pertains to the story of Aether, Dark Aether, Light Aether, is that their bond to the planet is so strong, and they, of their technology, are the reason. We were talking about this on the stream last week, which is so cool, that the light of Aether, as they call it, the power of the planet is like pulsating throughout the planet. Like it's a part of the planet, almost like a spiritual manifestation in the physical realm. And they literally harness that energy. They harness the light of Aether through their energy transfer, sites, and they disperse it, and that's how they power their machinery, and that's how they prevent the storms from coming and control the weather on their planet. And an interesting thought that we talked about on the stream last week was that sungrass, the plant that survives on solar energy, there's no soul, there's no sun. Aether's a rogue planet. So the solar energy that the plant lives off of is produced by the planet itself, the light of Aether. So I wonder, is this technology that the Luminoth independently developed? Or is this something that they modified from the Chozo, in the same way that the energy transfer module was something that could be passed from the, it could be communicated between the Chozo and the Luminoth. So the question is, how do you think the Luminoth are able to modify and alter and utilize Chozo tech despite the Chozo not explicitly being known to interact with the Luminoth? So to the best of my understanding, according to that lore, they did. So my guess is that they learned their technology and adopted a lot of their tech after the Chozo, at least according to Origins, and they they followed suit, with a lot of the ways that Chozo lived. So that's it. That's the preloaded questions. There they are. Gonna take a sip, and I'm gonna get now to the questions in the chat. And but before we do, I wanted to hold up. Let me turn some off. Turn off my nightlight. So before we get to questions in the chat, do want to let you guys know that, and I posted this in the Discord, but this is the content roadmap going forward. I don't really have a time frame for all of this. But first up, and what we have going on right now, still in the works, is Stories Retold, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And I would say I'm about halfway through work on that, and then once I have the ability to work on things again, starting in a few weeks, I'll be getting back to that. And then as soon as Echoes is up, maybe a week or two later, I'll start the long play stream series with Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. Super excited to be doing that with you guys. One, I've always wanted to play Metroid Prime 3, and I finally got a copy of the disc in the Wii, and so that's good. And then next project I will be working on is Stories Retold, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. And if you guys are Star Wars fans and you have a GameCube, good chance that you played Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It is one of my absolute favorite stories inside of the Star Wars universe, if not my favorite story. Maybe behind Obi-Wan's arc. Super excited about that one. And then Star Fox Adventures, Stories Retold. I am really excited about that one. I am a massive Star Fox fan, and if you guys have ever played Star Fox Adventures, you either loved it or you hated it. There's very few in between things, I would guess. Maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe there's something a little else in there. We'll find out. but we'll be going back and be doing stories retold of Star Fox. So like I said, no time frame on this. I've learned the lesson by watching way too many publishing studios of video games in the last 5 years to say, hey, here's our roadmap and here's when we're going to do it. And half of what's on the roadmap doesn't happen and none of it's on time. So we're not going to say time frame on any of that, but I do guarantee you that that is going to be the projects in the order that they happen. And really, really excited about all that. So that is content coming up on the channel, and that's that. So now let's get into the comments that are down live coming in. And 1 second, let me just pull this over here. I gotta make sure that we're. All right. So let's get down to the questions in the chat. I just pulled the comments over here on my other screen. Let's see here. Scrolling up. Project Helix. Thank you. Thank you. PC97. Something I'm unsure about. Maybe you know. Does the purple sky flashing in the temple grounds become less frequent as you take the Dark Temple's energy? You know what? I don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't think so. I would sure as heck like it if that's the case, but my guess would be no. That would be my hunch. But I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back through my footage and take a peek. You know what? Let's Nah, it'll be too much scrubbing through footage. My guess, PC, is probably no. But hey, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. If they thought through that enough, and if that was ahead of time, that's possible. But that would just be my guess. Matthew Landis, aka Cleaner Hook, my favorite Harry Squad moment of all time. If you guys don't know Harry Squad, that is our Battlefield crew, and we do Harry Squad streams on here from time to time. It's a little crazy. It's a lot of fun. My favorite Harry Squad stream moment of all time. Wow. It's not my number one, but I'm gonna process one out. Dalton, aka Black Star Soldier, rolling over the brand new record for the longest headshot in the stream a couple of weeks ago. That was pretty amazing. Man, that's tough. While I'm thinking, Matthew, you have to type in. Let me know one of your favorites. Gosh, that's put me on the spot. For now, I'm gonna say Black Star from the stream 2 weeks ago, rolling over the longest headshot. That was unexpected. And if you go back into the stream and you watch my face, that was completely genuine. That was not, I don't act, man. Like, that was genuine. My mouth was way down. I did not expect that. And it was at the very end. It was the last like 30 seconds of the stream. That was I'm gonna say for now, that's what it is. PC 1997, the most interesting species to me is whatever Ridley is. Why is there only one of him? What is his life cycle like? Don't anyone dare mention other M. Man, yeah, and I don't know the backstory as much to be able to answer that, but that is a really good question, because definitely looks space piratey in origin, potentially. I mean, the space pirates kind of had that lizard thing going on for them, right? Eyes are on fire, as we talked about last week. And Ridley's kind of got that pterodactyl lizard thing going on for him. Fire in the eyes. Someone could probably look that up. Oh, I'm gonna look it up right now. Meta Ridley. Species? Location? No. Rebirth? I'm gonna have to look that up. Hit that later. Yeah, I'm looking at Meta Ridley right now, and I'm like, dude, that is like a space pirate with wings. I mean, that's got some fire in the eyes. Oh, look at this. That's straight out of Metroid Prime. Yeah, he's got fire in his mouth too. That's not terrifying at all. That's HD right there. That's HD if I've ever seen it. Yeah, we got fire in the eyes. I'm gonna go with some kind of modified space pirate. That's what I say. That's what I say. Matthew Linus says, for me, it was the night when everybody only used the Obrez. Obrez night, dude. Obrez and Martini Henry night. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Oh, man. You know what? We're going to do another longest headshot. Blackstar, he's got a baby on the way. I mean, literally could be on the way tonight. I mean, Blackstar's got a mini him on the way here. So as soon as we get the thumbs up, he's healthy. We're gonna try and get Blackstar back on here for another headshot challenge. Zach says he's finally on the final boss. My modded GameCube took a dump on me, so I have to wait. Oh, I didn't even know you could mod a GameCube. You know, I had a modded Xbox that had like all the old school games on it. We had modded Halo. Man, my brother, aka Lead Chariot, aka, oh boy, he's got way too many gamer tags to remember. He was modding Xboxes back in like 05, like way ahead. That was crazy. Probably asked a million times, but what is the game that you enjoyed playing the most out of the Prime series, as in gameplay, game feel, and lore? Yeah, you know, it's gotta be the original Metroid Prime for me. Thank you for the question. I gotta say, it's Metroid Prime, and it's partially because of the nostalgia, and I'll just hang the lantern on that. It's partially the memories attached to the game, but if I do my best, and it's impossible to, right? But if I do my best to pull myself away from those memories, I think it's still Prime. And I think it's the way that they lay out the subplot of trying to unravel the mystery of like who the Chozo are, and again, assuming you haven't played the previous, Metroid games. But if we're just talking Prime series, Star Wars reference. Like, if you've never seen any of the Star Wars movies, which are going to give you all the context you need to watch Star Wars Rebels or Star Wars Clone Wars, and all you know about Star Wars is inside of that show, like, that's how Metroid is for me. Like, I only know Metroid universe out of the Prime series. So for me, understanding about the Chozo and the Luminoth and the Space Pirates and Phazon and Dark Samus, like all those things intertwining into one, the way that they lay everything out for Metroid Prime, like, you could come in with all the previous games and experience Metroid Prime, I think, in its proper context, and it lays out perfectly. But they laid everything out in the game so perfectly that someone who's never played the game before can pick it up, and they're unraveling this mystery of what happened to the Chozo. Who are the Chozo? Like, who are you? Like, how did you get this Chozo, battle suit? Well, you don't find that out. You don't even really know what's going on with the Chozo until basically the end of the game. So, Brandon's, I'm gonna say Prime, the original one. That's really tough. Everyone in the comment section, comment down which one is your favorite of the Prime, favorite Prime, and favorite Metroid non-Prime series. If you've played it, comment down below and give me like one or two pointers as to why. Yeah, so I also only know it out of the Prime series. Yeah, and I think that there's actually a good amount of people where that's the case. You know, where because Metroid Prime came out and it like to me Metroid Prime was synonymous with the GameCube. I mean, man, like what are other GameCube titles that are more synonymous than Metroid Prime? I mean, well, for me it's Bounty Hunter, but outside of that, you know, there was Resident Evil 0 was a good GameCube game. Bounty Hunter. There's a lot of good GameCube games out there, but that's definitely one. Ridley's K2L Ray is so sad. He was so insulted that the young human girl wanted to be his friend that he murdered her parents and the whole colony except her, then just left. And now I'm gonna have to go back and get a load of all of that, because when my experience, not having the context of all that and I kind of presented that in that way in Stories Retold, that when you encounter Meta Ridley actually in this exact moment right here, like what is that? You know, if you're familiar with the Metroid series, you're like, oh my gosh, it's Meta Ridley, here we go again. But if you've never played Metroid Prime before, I'm sorry, if you've never played the previous Metroid games, you get there and you're like, I don't know what that is, but we just killed the Parasite Queen. That was easy. This looks less easy. Maybe? I don't know. Look up the GC Loader, GC Dual, and letters and numbers. SD2, SP2. Those are great. Oh, they're mods. Okay. Good. Yeah, I used to have Dolphin. I'm gonna, yeah, those are good. Okay, GC Loader, GC Dual. Okay, cool. Brandon's says Prime mainly for its originality to the genre and how accessible it was to those who hadn't played the past games, like myself. But there it was done perfectly for those who had. Yeah, I agree with you. Originality. Let's talk about taking the Metroid series as a side scroller 2D. To being a 3D first-person shooter, and how that's like a big deal to take that leap, right? Like imagine like stepping into Doom, which is a first-person, you know, 3D, but I mean it borders on 2D. Imagine taking that leap for the first time. I mean that's amazing. I mean, like some of the original Elder Scrolls game, like you look at it, it looks like Doom graphics and being third person. Now imagine going from 2D side scroller to first person shooter, and that leap of graphics and that leap of presentation and that leap of map design. I mean, that's massive. Like that's incalculable. That's two different eras. So, talk about originality, being able to lay down the story as rich of a way that they do, in a way that's very original, and the way that it feels, you know. If there's okay, there's plenty of ways one could critique the way that I, you know, review, retrospect, or talk about Metroid Prime, because I tend to be very like fanboy for it. I mean, like I'm here for it. I have a really hard time coming up saying anything negative. But you know, the very few things that I've talked about being negative kind of get effectively properly retconned. And so that's pretty much my only critique. People were so skeptical working out in favor of old timers. Yeah, and I could understand that skepticism, because like I have a very skeptical view, and you guys probably know that if you've been watching a few streams. Like I have a very skeptical view towards like modern gaming, not franchises, but publishing, and like the direction that we're going with monetization, microtransactions, you know, free else, like we're kind of rebound, like you know, we were over here for for decades, you know, like you buy the game, you get the game, and then online happened, and then this was like the golden era of video games, of having both worlds, of both the online experience and the single player experience and the co-op campaign experience. And then companies are giving away free DLC, you know, like Battlefield 2 Modern Combat giving us 3 free maps. Like, that's awesome, you know? And then microtransactions, and then now it's paid DLC, and now it's season passes, and now it's season passes plus bugs, and then it's free game plus bugs plus monetization plus microtransactions plus not complete game. Then it's beta 2.0 plus bugs plus DLC plus monetization plus microtransactions, and now we're kind of rebounding back, right? Like that was the Satan. That was the Satan. Like, ooh, Satan. Nope, don't want that. Now let's rebound. Let's take a step back from Satan, and let's do free LC, right? Now it's free LC, which is 2020 vernacular for live service, and I have a pretty negative opinion of live service. It can be done so well, actually. It can be done so well. But I think the downward pressure from publishers to designers takes a beautiful model like live service and turns it into a time crunch where developers are overworked, underpaid, and their art isn't put on full volume. Metroid Prime comes out right on the cusp of that, you know, golden era of video games for me, where at least, you know, for me, my golden era is like you have the online, you have the campaign, you have the co-op experience. And I felt like, you know, Star Wars had the ability to not have exclusivity. You have like EA and EA Games publishing things that like you wanted to get. You have small and large developing companies coming out with inventive games, and you have the ability to take a 2D side scroller and turn it into a three-dimensional first-person shooter in a genre that is very grammatically pinched. So all that to say, Metroid Prime, I'm all there with you. I'm all there with you on that. Let me pull this over here so I can read. I'm looking over here now. Favorite Prime game. This is from PC 1997. Favorite Prime game, Metroid Prime. Favorite non-Prime Metroid game, Metroid Fusion. Most synonymous game with GameCube other than Prime, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Melee. So here's... You want to hear something really sad about Melee? Do I have it? Hang on. I think that's... Standby. Yeah. You're referring to this game right here. You're referring to this disc right here? Yeah. That's disappointing. Have the box. Don't have the game. And just for good measure, let's see if it's which drawer are you? Let's go through the GameCube. Ooh, Torvus Bog. Every time. We got Star Fox Adventures, Pikmin and Pikmin 2. That's beautiful. See, this is the game that I thought that I lost, but I do have. This is another one that might be synonymous. That would be Mario Kart Double Dash. Autofocus, you gonna be there? That's too small, whatever. Double Dash, that's a good one. Have Hit and Run, there's Metroid Prime, yes sir. Both the Star Wars Rogue Fighter games. That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is a new one I just recently added to my collection. Come here, autofocus. Oh, come here, autofocus. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. That is a game, ladies and gentlemen. That is a game. Star Wars Jedi Outcast. Let's see. I don't think that I have Melee. I think that one's lost to time. Just like my autofocus. Oh, dude, Paper Mario. Paper Mario, you guys. That is one. That is one. Yeah, so unfortunately, the Melee. That is a game case and no disc. So yeah, hey, if you send it in the mail, I'll send it back. I'll send it back. I'm good on my word. Zach, I wasn't on the internet at the time, but I've heard that Metroid going 3D FPS got a similar reaction to Zelda going cartoon when Prime was first announced. Okay. So and this is so you have a data point for me. The only like handheld and the only the only handheld console I had ever had was Game Boy Advance Color. And I missed out on so many handheld things and so many, smaller console things. So that's a bummer. That's a bummer in that regard. Do you play PC games in your free time? So PC games as a genre, no. If I had $1 for every hour I played in World of Warcraft between the years of 2004 and 2019 in some manner, that would be a lot of dollars. So yes, I'm no longer playing. I played on World of Warcraft on Highjaw server from 2004 to 2007, and then I stopped playing shortly after Burning Crusade. And after Wrath of the Lich King came out, I found a vanilla private server and went from private server to private server between 2009 through 2018 when Classic came out in 2019, I think it was. And then I played Classic for a year. And then I would say about halfway through COVID, I was like, all right, I can't play WoW anymore. Too much WoW. Gotta stop. I could never get tired of Classic WoW. If any of you guys have ever played World of Warcraft. I mean, man, PvP was my thing in that game. I am playing a lot of Flight Sim. Well, okay, not a lot. I mean, comparatively. Love Flight Sim. Huge. Love Minecraft. We have a realm with our youth students at the church. We actually have two, and we have about 25 people in there. And yeah, love Minecraft, man. I can and have played Minecraft all day for multiple days in succession. Aside from that, I own the Mass Effect series both on Xbox and on PC, so I guess you could say I do that as well. And Old School RuneScape. I still got my membership with Old School RuneScape, even though I play like once every 2 weeks. I should probably cancel my subscription because that's like $30 every 3 months. So actually, I'm going to do that after this stream. Oh man, OSRS, man. I love Old School RuneScape. I believe that's it. Let's see. Yeah, that would be. I do have Mass Effect Andromeda. I haven't finished it, and then I have Jedi Outcast 2 for PC, as well as the GameCube, which is definitely talking about feels bad, man. That feels good, man. Playing Outcast, that's super good. All right, so we probably got another 15-20 minutes here. If you guys have any personal questions, or if you guys have any questions about the channel or anything outside of Metroid Prime, that's totally fair game too. Or if you want to keep it on task, on target, as Doug Christie would say, you guys you'll feel free to do that too. Minecraft hits the nostalgia for sure. I play time to time. So the funny thing about me and Minecraft I was way late to the party. I think I got in 2018. I think it was that far back, or that far into the life cycle of Minecraft. And so the first time I ever played it, like I didn't know what to do. I was just like, there's a mountain, I'm gonna go on it. And so I did. I just, made a pickaxe and mined to the center of the mountain and became a mountain dweller for many hours. And after that, I built a house outside, and from there, it was history, man. I fell in love with the game and like started making like giant minecart systems underneath the earth, and this was before Elytra existed as well. And like my favorite thing in Minecraft at the time was just building like giant minecart rail systems. And to this day, my favorite thing in Minecraft is going through all the stuff. You know what we could do? I mean, I could load it up. I could throw the realm up so you guys can see it. That is something we could do. If you guys want to, let me know. I can throw the realm up there so you guys can see what we do. A departure from gaming, do you listen to music and much? If so, what have you been vibing on recently? Ooh, good question. Huge into music. I do play music myself. I've been playing guitar for about 20 years. I do acoustic, and I do electric, bass. I play drums, and I sing. So music has long been a part of my life. Writing music, listening to music. My favorite genres... so I started listening to punk and hardcore in the early 2000s, and was actually in a band for a while. Band in high school and then through college. We were oh, I think we just lost the camera. Stand by. Oh no, we lost the cam! Oh yeah. Alright, stand by for camera. I'm gonna see if I can plug in my secondary. Alright, everybody pray. Pray that the webcam driver on my GoPro works first try, because it's usually it's usually not first try. Let's just say that. What do you got, GoPro? We're gonna work? We are loading. Open up that webcam driver. USB detected. Let's see if it's gonna work. Come on, baby. I believe you can do it. Usually what happens when it gets to this point is that it needs to be shut down, unfortunately. That's usually what that means. Which if we need to, we could restart the stream. But we could do that. Don't want to. Bummer days. Well, this just turned into a podcast. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have another backup camera. Let me try restarting the GoPro one more time. See if it's going to work for me. If not, it's just turned into a podcast. Come on, baby. I know you can do it. Well, actually, I know you can do it, but can we do it without restarting the computer is the question. Probably not. Probably not. All right. Well, this just turned into a podcast, unfortunately. That's all right. We were on the back end. Yeah. Seriously, can we please get a the sound effects of Samus dying? Can we please get that? I think we can. I do think I have that on standby. Sound effects. We're just gonna pause that right away. And where are we? Here we go. Big rip to that. Oh well, it happens. So this just turned into a podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Part 2 of the stream. Echoes Podcast IRL questions. Yeah, so the question about music. You know what I've been really big into as of late is I've been into lo-fi and chill hop and chill step for a number of years now, and that's kind of really taken off. I started listening to dubstep back in like 2006, which has like really turned into a really commercialized genre. I like old school dubstep. I'm not a really big fan of the old school stuff. I'm really big in electronic music, so pretty much anything that either like communicates like an emotion that's electronic, that's like really artfully considering, I'm big on. There's a genre called future garage if you're American, or if you're British from where this genre hails, it's called future garage. Big fan of that. And then of course I do like singing, and I do like guitar. I'm very picky though. I'm very picky. Anything that involves lyrics, I'm very picky. Let's put it that way. I'm a wedding videographer, and so I hear the whole host of music with lyrics, and let's just say that there's a lot of music with a lot of lyrics that are sung that should not be sung, period, or definitely in mixed company of all ages. That is normal. Not a fan of that. So I listen to a lot more instrumental than I do songs with lyrics. Let's see. What would your opinion of co-op in... Oh, dude. Sorry, I missed one. Where did your name come from? Great question, Zach. And I really wish the camera was on for this one. Where did my name come from? Well, let's see if we can fire this thing back up. Hey, we got camera for like another... Let's see. Where's my battery indicator? I think it actually might have just timed out. Camera's back. Who knows how long? Where did I first get my name? Yes, great question. So I have been working with teens for the last 10 years in multiple aspects at my church and youth ministry, and then also I was the director of the teen center in my town, and so I've been working with youth. I've been working with teenagers for the last 10 years, and let me tell you something, they keep me young and they age me. Any of my students watching, you know who you are. There's something about spending quality time with teenagers that will both like keep you young, keep you fresh, and also make you realize how irrelevant you are real fast. Because, you know, it's like, hey, I was in high school, you know, like last year, and then all of a sudden, I was in high school like 11 years ago, and when you're a teenager, you hear 11 years, you're like, dude, it's a millennium ago. To me, it feels like it was just yesterday. But there was a slogan, there was a phrase that we colloquially, this is one of the hardest words to say on the planet, colloquially referred to as teen swag. Teen swag. And that's just the silly things that teenagers do. And we all do it, right? We all did it in teen land. Where you do something, you say something, you wear something because you're a teenager and you wear it proudly and you say it proudly and you do it proudly and you look back 5 years ago and go, man, that was awful. That was terrible. So that's teen swag. And I was at my brother's house one day and I was feeling spontaneous, and I was like, you know what I could do right now? I could spend some money. I could change my gamer tag right now. And he goes, well, what are you thinking about changing it to? And I was like, well, maybe teen swag, because everyone, and we were playing Halo Reach a lot, 'cause, like, I really want to know. I want people to know that when I go on a Running Riot, that teen swag is on a Running Riot. Like, oh, dude, that's like the cringiest gamer tag on the planet. Like, that dude's on a Running Riot. Ew, And now in Battlefield 1, it's not uncommon to go on like a 30 or 40 kill streak in what we do. And I was on leaderboards for Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3. And there's something about having a really cringy gamer tag that I just wear with honor. I just love pulling off that really difficult kill in online matchmaking. And underneath it is this really cringy gamer tag, and it's like, oh man, that guy got me. That sucks. So I explained. I mean, my brother knows this, and so I was telling him it could be teen swag, and he goes, you know what's slightly cringier than teen swag? Tween swag. And that's how it happened. That's the story. Hopefully that's as interesting as the question, because it's a solid question given my gamer tag, tween swag. So if you're on Xbox Live, add me, tween swag. That's the story. That is the story. Let's get through these questions that are up here, and then we'll just about call it. For the PC 1997, what would your opinion be of a co-op campaign in Metroid game? I know Metroid is about loneliness, but it could be done via split screen where each player is in another region. That's so I would love to be able to play Metroid Prime with somebody. That would be a really cool experience. I think that you're right, that it would feel different than what it normally is, that you're alone and you're on this mission as Samus. But I would love that personally. I think that there's a lack of campaign stuff these days. That would be cool to see, like a remastered Metroid Prime, and for us to get campaign. I know Trilogy exists. I would love to. I'd love to play Metroid Prime with Mrs. Swag and have her take one of the monitor and I take the other one. That would be really cool. I'd like that. I'd love to play with your community if you have anything public. A ton of content. It's a lot. Yeah. Thank you, Brandons. If you're out of the Sacramento area, Northern California, let me know. Imagine if the lost signal screen was Samus's visor. Okay, we got there. Yeah, you're right. The camera died at Sanctuary Fortress. Super technology advanced. Yeah, ha. Yeah, that was a pretty good prank. Thank you, Retro. I love that I aged myself from teen to tween. Yeah, I know. And I do work with tweens now because our district just brought the 6th graders in last year. And so I traditionally worked with 7th through 12th graders, and I now work with 6th through 12th graders. And hey, let me tell you something, man. They'll keep you humble. They keep you humble. And it goes both ways. They keep you humble, and then you destroy them in Knockout, and you destroy them in Foursquare, and then you destroy them in, Dodgeball. Let me tell you something about... This is something I learned about Dodgeball. Fun thing that I found out. Not everyone likes to play Dodgeball, and that's fair. Game's not for everybody. Just like there is things that I'm not good at or things that I don't, fully enjoy. But let me tell you something. If you don't like Dodgeball, here's what you don't want to do. Don't hide behind the big gym dudes. Don't hide behind the people bigger than you, because those are the people that I'm trying to destroy. Like you guys, there is something beautiful about when you're in a student-teacher relationship with someone, you develop this this ability to know when they need a power check, and there's nothing that says power check like an 85-mile-an-hour dodgeball to the gut, like that'll get you. and well, we keep it in reason, you know. But you don't want to hide behind those people. You don't want to hide behind the best players on their team, because those are the people that we're gonna, you know, everyone gets a power check different ways, and sometimes you just need to knock someone back, you know, a notch, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Well, I think that's just about gonna do it. I think my camera is it needs a fan. It needs me to cool it down. This is a test for it to see how long it can go, and it's not bad. Eventually I'm gonna get a camera just dedicated for streaming, but since this is also my business camera, I want to make sure I'm taking care of it. So thank you guys for joining. This was a lot of fun, and thank you guys for getting the questions in early, and also for the ones that you guys got into the chat. Really appreciate that. I think that we will definitely do another we'll do another stream soon. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'm gonna be going to Texas here pretty soon. I will be pretty much gone and away for 2 weeks or so, and then I'll be updating you guys. So if you guys want to stay updated on the channel, want to know when streams are coming up, hop into the Discord link is down below, and this is the perfect song for us to outro to tonight. So thank you guys so much. I had a ton of fun, and I will see you guys next time. And again, just to bring that up, the first question out, when is the Echoes video coming out? My guess would be early summer. That's my hope. It all just kind of depends on what timing is like. So the music's fading me out. This is perfect time. Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Who knows?